Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of the Guild Spotlight. And joining us tonight is Prestige Worldwide with Guild Leader Veetus. Say hello.
Hello.
And with Rizhirr. And where are you in the guild?
Officer.
You're an officer in the guild? Well, we are happy to have you guys tonight. We're just going to kind of get to know you guys and have some fun and enjoyable conversation, I'm hoping. I'd like to say hello to everybody in the chat realm. If you guys have any questions or anything you want to talk about, try to pop up and we'll try to catch it. So, guys, when did Prestige start?
We started in, 2012 in January. So we've been going for a while now, but we definitely have some room to grow still. We haven't grown as much as I would like to. We've had a lot of highs, a lot of lows, but I think with ArcheAge is kind of reuniting a lot of the folks from the older times. We actually started on with a WoW private server actually, and we were really successful there. But you know, as time has gone on, things have kind of gone down. But I think ArcheAge being free to play and being kind of the game that a lot of people have been waiting for, I think things are looking up pretty good. A lot of good things coming.
Excellent. Yeah, Prestige or ArcheAge has been really taking off everywhere I've seen. Everybody's really excited for it, and especially with it dropping on the 16th. So you started out in WoW. What made you guys decide to get together?
Well, I've always kind of ran guilds with whichever game I've ever played. I've always just kind of had that desire of kind of running a community, and finally I was like, let's stick with it. Let me try and get an actual community, not just a guild. And so that's where the PWW Gaming, Prestige Worldwide Gaming formed. And so I was kind of just wanting to try to keep people together and always let them know, they have a place to come whenever they want to play games, and we can always try to connect and stay connected, really.
Okay. What kind of guild are you? Do you bring a lot of different like role playing or PvP, PvE? What kind of direction do you head?
So we're pretty much everything. We're everything except for role playing. So we have social elements. We're a little bit hardcore, but I wouldn't say we're extremely hardcore. We're not elitist or anything like that. But we do want to. That doesn't mean that we accept people that are going to be disrespectful or crappy at the game or whatever. I mean, we all want to have fun, right? So having fun, part of having fun is doing a good job. But we're not elitist or anything like that. But as far as all the categories of guilds or communities, we're everything but role play.
Okay. Do you have any strict guidelines or anything you really want your members to have or stick to?
At the moment, and this is kind of evolving, but at the moment, there's no strict requirements that we have. There's one thing that I usually ask people, and that is to just hop on our TeamSpeak server whenever possible. That's kind of, if there would be a requirement, that would be the one, just because more people on TeamSpeak, for whatever reason, 100% of the time, always equates to more guild activity. So that's kind of like the requirement for right now. I think eventually, once we get a little bit more folks in the guild, we'll get a little bit stricter on our application process. But for now, it's just the TeamSpeak activity.
Okay. How many people are you up to?
We were in the Omega server, and I think we left with around 80 or so members. It's hard to say though, because a lot of people kind of died off, and so as far as like active members, I would guess it's probably in the 40s, 50s.
Okay. Now I know Rizhirr, you're coming over from FPS console, correct?
Oh yeah, it's it's a different world, but the system, the stat system, I'm getting used to, but it's actually basically the same thing. I mean, if you don't want to suck in one area, you improve the other area that you want to go into. So I'm getting used to that. I'm getting that hang of it. But other than that, it's pretty much falling into place.
Oh,
So.
does now do you guys have a FPS console section of your guild, or
No, unfortunately, we never took off in the FPS console space. I eventually would like to, get to the point where we can have those kinds of divisions, but at the moment we've kind of just had one primary game and that's been our one game, and it's usually actually it's always been an MMO. So.
All right. Now, so right now you're playing ArcheAge, right? All right, and that's for anybody that's interested. That's going free to play and open to the public on the 16th. And if you're a founding member, you get pre-launch on the 12th.
Yep.
Okay. Do you guys picked out a server yet, or are you kind of still up in the air on that?
So we, like Grievance, actually are also up in the air. We are heavily aligned with Omega Ascended and Grievance, so we're actually we're waiting. We're hopefully we have one that's in mind, but again, nothing's official yet. But currently on beta, we're on the Olo server.
Okay. And beta is ending. What we've got? What 2-3 more days on beta?
I believe it actually ends tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. If anybody want to join up for ArcheAge, do you have any meeting coming up soon that you guys want to plug?
We just had a meeting, and we have it recorded. We had it just the other day. We have it recorded with a bunch of notes from the meeting, but we are probably going to have another one right before launch. Probably, I haven't said it yet, but it's probably going to be probably on Thursday, just right before when launch is going to be hopefully fresh in everyone's minds and everyone's pumped and ready. So that's probably the plan, but it's tentative on the actual date, and time is definitely not set yet.
All right, excellent. So, what were you guys playing before ArcheAge?
Before ArcheAge, we were playing Rift, and our guild name was taken there. So if anybody saw us over there, we were known as Planar WorldWide. Tried to get as close as we could to the name as possible, but yeah, it took a lot of brainstorming to get that one.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times with names, like especially for games that have been out for a while.
Yep, so, that happens.
It does. All right. Well, let's see here. What else do I want to talk about? And have you guys done anything fun or exciting you want to talk about? I mean, tell me some exciting stories.
Oh boy. I don't know if this is a great story, but it was kind of cool when we were in our prime in our WoW guild. It was a Wrath of the Lich King server, and it was cool because every week we would have multiple 10-man raids and 25-man raids, but we would have the Eastern side and the U.S. side kind of competing. So it would keep things really competitive because we'd have the EU guys and the U.S. guys just completely at war, but all in fun and spirit. And that was probably like the highlight of the guild. It lasted for probably 3 or 4 months where we were just going through Ice Crown Citadel, 10 and 25 man, and just it was competitive because it was like, oh well, we got this far, and no, they got this far, and so it was just good spirited fun. So I'm trying to create that kind of thing, and that also goes along with our guild name is WorldWide. I want to really promote global. Like we want to be everywhere. We don't want to just be U.S. or anything like that. We really do want to try and grab as many people from all over the world.
Okay. Now, are most of your members in the U.S. or where have you reached out to?
Well, because of the WoW guild, the private server we were on, it tended to have a low U.S. count anyway. It seemed like the EU population was naturally high, so it was easy to kind of grab those EU members and steal them and kind of nourish them and whatnot. So, yeah.
Well, that's the beautiful things about games nowadays. The fact that you can be playing with somebody from Australia one day, New Zealand the next, all the way to a guy down the street. In case you guys were interested, a chat room person was asking, what would you do if somebody happened to touch your drum set?
Oh, you don't touch that drum set.
That sounds like there's a story behind this.
No, it's actually so our name, Prestige Worldwide, in case anybody doesn't know, is from Step Brothers, the movie, and it's a really silly. That they use it as a really silly name, and one of the parts in the movie, it's the other guy, not Will Ferrell, the curly other guy. I'm forgetting his name right now, but he was like, yeah, telling Will Ferrell, "Don't touch my drum set," and he was really dramatic and really dumb about it, and they got in this big fight because he did something rather disgusting to his drum set, and you have to check out the movie because it's hilarious. But I'll just leave you with that.
All right. Now, do you guys have dedicated raid nights or any specific?
You talking about with ArcheAge, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was kind of hard to set anything like that up because one, you're still learning the game. At the same time, when you're trying to anticipate what's going to change, coming from alpha to beta to actually launch. But we did get together and we was taking on these little mini world bosses that was floating around all through there. So, yeah, but anticipation, we're definitely gonna go after the Kraken. That is, he's high up on the list right there. And then the other ones would just see if take on one of those epic or legendary mini bosses and to see what falls.
All right. I heard something about a castle. Has anybody gotten the castle yet?
Well, we haven't because, like I said, we're tiny and we're still growing. But that is definitely a plan, is to get a castle. The castle thing in ArcheAge is really appealing to me, and I know that everybody else in the guild is thinking the same thing. Is let's get that going. So yeah, that's definitely a plan. We definitely want to get there at some point. Can't wait to be a castle owner.
Now, which side of the island are you on? Are you on the because I think in ArcheAge you've got two separate factions.
Yes, the east and the west. We're on the eastern, so the Huronian.
The Huronian section.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Are you guys short on anything?
I'm sorry?
Are you guys short on anything? Are you short on healers? Do you need tanks?
Yeah, tanks and healers, because especially healers in the game at the moment, the way healing gear is distributed at the early levels, especially, it makes it tough. So we're hoping that they actually do some changes to make healing gear present in more in leveling, just in general. It's really hard for a healer to level, obviously. And like in any MMO, healers are dime a dozen, or they're not dime a dozen. They're the exact opposite. So, and tanks, we have a decent amount of tanks. We probably have 3 or 4 like solid ones that are going to be full-time dedicated. But other than that, yeah, healers we can definitely absolutely use.
Yeah. And the thing with it, the Archeum is kind of scarce right now. Especially my understanding on launch, they're not going to have Aurea, which was that top island. You go in there and you can grow Archeum trees. My understanding is not going to be available at launch, so the drop rate or the accessibility to Archeum is going to be pretty hard to get. But you use that to craft your weapons and your armor. Mm-hmm. And for a healer, since scepter, well, yeah, the clubs that they use, you don't really find much of them in the game.
All right. What Rizhirr, what nights are you usually able to get on and play? What time is the guild usually active?
Well, when I got out of the military, I enrolled in college now, but I was on every night. I'm usually there's a couple other people that's more active than me since August term started back, but you can find at least 10, 15 of us on any day, anytime. I know we all have jobs and lives and all that stuff, but I try to stay on as long as I can, as much as I can.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, what drew you to Prestige as a guild? Because you just came over from console play, like we talked about earlier. I'm assuming ArcheAge you came in on.
Yeah, I actually found it by accident. I was looking for something to do, and I was tired of the console, and I got online and I seen some because I'm all about the character customization. It's much, not just creating the character, but what do you do with it after?
Mhm.
And so I love the stats. I love how they play into the whole game itself. So I came across this one. I was like, well, $150 is pretty steep in one purchase, but I was like, I can buy console games for two or three of them, be good as that. So I got into the game and I was running around and I seen somebody with Prestige Worldwide and I just thought it was funny and I said something to him and then struck up conversation, got an invite sent, and here I am.
Awesome. So this is definitely a good group of people to work with.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we have a very mixed group as far as when you get in some group, people get together because it's the same people per
Mhm.
se. Yeah, we have some characters, so it's fun. It's never going to be a dull moment. There hasn't been one yet. So.
Well, that's good. There's always somebody in the bushel.
Oh yeah. Well, in this case, there's like two or three of them. We have one officer, Michaela, who just she's probably going to kill me for mentioning this one out. But yeah, it's interesting when we're on. We was doing trade runs going across and crossing over to the east side. Well, instead of doing the trade run like we was going to, we was like, oh, we see a red, let's go get them. Yeah, that ended very badly because we wasn't even geared, we wasn't really spec'd out for it, and she just sat on the boat ride with no pack on the way back, like I told you so. But and when we got back, it was just a bunch of ball busting and stuff like that, and yeah, she always brings it back up every time we mention her trade run.
Good times.
Never fails. Never fails.
Yeah.
So, Veetus, as a guild leader, what are some of the, especially considering with your guild, what are some of the more difficult things that you have in your guild? What's some of the more difficult tasks or whatever that you've got going on?
Well, at the moment, our biggest our biggest roadblock, I guess, is just getting more people. So I'm really, really, really thankful for you guys bringing me on here right before launch. The timing couldn't have been any better, I don't think. So hopefully somebody sees this and is inspired and wants to come hang out with a bunch of cool people. But really, yeah, the biggest thing is just getting enough people that. And it's not so much having people that just want to be in a guild. It's people that want to participate, be involved, be active, and be a for the guild person, because in the end, if they're for the guild, it's going to benefit them and everybody. So it's very like a selfless thing, and it's really hard to do for a lot of people. But I think ArcheAge has a lot of different elements that promote that in a really good way. So I think we can be successful. It's just going to take a little time for us to grow.
Awesome. I know I was having some fun. I'm only up to level 13. So I've just been in the betas. I really haven't gone too hard just between kids and time and the fact that the beta is about to end here in 15 hours. Didn't really seem too much of a point, but I'm looking forward to the 16th. Let's see. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Anything?
I don't know. Riz, you got anything?
Well, getting actually into the gameplay. I mean, this has been a good introductory, on my part, learning experience on how all this stuff goes because it's my first cast, and I don't know. I'm just gonna have fun with it. So.
I hope so. Let's see. I'm just trying to think if there's anything. If the chat room has anything they want to ask, please bring it up right now before I let these two guys go.
We love questions. Please.
Yes, please. Hey. We dance. Dancing is just fine. You can dance on my boat.
And speaking of dancing, how many other games out there, like in ArcheAge, have 3 dance emotes? that's pretty awesome. And you can walk while dancing, so you're like still dancing while walking, moving side to side. I don't think I've seen an MMO do that.
And one of those dance emotes increases your stats if you're in a raid and you play with the war drums. Remember that?
That is also epic.
Nice. Why did you guys pick the east side?
Oh, good question. Well, I will tell you why I picked the east side, and it was very simple. It was because of the cat race. I am, for whatever reason, I hate being anything close to looking like a human. Like in World of Warcraft, I was always a Tauren because they were the furthest thing, from looking like a human. And I love. I'm not a big cat person, but I like how the cats look in the armor. I just think they have like the coolest kind of body stance and everything. So. For me, that's why I chose East, and that's probably why I don't know why anyone else chose East, but that's why I did, and and I've actually taken a look at the West, and the East seems to have, I don't know, a prettier landscape, I guess. Just everything looks more aesthetically pleasing.
I know I was looking at when I was rolling my character, I couldn't help but look at it and think, you've got the east side and you've got the west side. You've got the ninjas over here and you've got the pirates over here.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like right now is some of the racial abilities for the cat people, the Farron, or I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but climbing the trees faster. I'm sorry, it's just not really useful. So they need to come up with something better. But other than that, that's the same way I picked because it looked pretty cool to me. A gigantic cat wielding a sword. Come on, you can't beat that. So.
Now, in your guild, obviously, raiding, taking on the Kraken, definitely goals. What about the side activity, the side quests, the crafting, the armoring? Is this a big part of your guild as well?
Yeah, actually, one of the things we want to do besides try to experience everything there is in the game except for pirating, because we don't want that attitude. We actually, or that reputation. We want to be kind of the opposite and be more like vigilantes or mercenaries and protect people on trade runs, and hopefully they'll we'll charge them a small fee, but it'll be affordable. We don't want to be overcharging and like anything like that, but we definitely want to be able to like offer protection. And I think actually our sister guild Omega Ascended is also same way, so it makes it just all the better because we'll have two guilds being able to offer that kind of service.
All right, so you're going to be basically mercenaries for hire.
Yep.
All right. We have a very, very vital question here. Pancakes or waffles?
Ooh, waffles for me. Waffles easy.
Gotta have waffles. You make it into a sandwich, actually just a waffle sandwich, some sausage, some eggs, some bacon in between it. I'm from the South, bacon. So gotta have bacon.
Now, somebody asks, is it true that Omega Ascended is the sickest guild you're allied with?
Ooh, I will say yes on our side, but on the other side, we all know who the other sickest guild is.
Do you guys have a guild-owned farm complex?
Well, we plan to. We plan to have a couple spots zoned out for where we're going to place our land and our farms and whatnot. But yeah, we definitely plan on having like a zone that's just for us. Hopefully, we're going to try to be as strategic as possible to make that happen. But with the craziness of Head Start and the unpredictability of what people are going to be thinking, are they going to have the same idea as us? Are they going to want the exact same spot? We just don't know. So it's really up in the air, but we're going to try really hard to make that happen.
Okay. Now, I saw when I was going through some of your stuff that you have your own Twitch stream, correct?
I do.
All right. How often do you stream from that, or do you have anything for the guild or anything that you stream for your guild?
Yeah, I typically will stream Monday through Friday, usually around 7 p.m. Pacific to about 10:30 Pacific, and those times vary, and those days also vary. But I do try to stream at least Monday through Friday, as long as I don't have anything going on and I'm playing, I'm streaming. So yeah, it's been fun trying to recruit that way. Also, is getting some viewers to kind of get interested that way. And of course, I can't stream while we're out in the open sea though, so unfortunately they don't get to see everything. But whenever we're on land and we're not doing anything that could give our location away because of the stream snipers, we gotta be smart about that.
Yeah. You also want to make sure you're not getting swatted.
That too.
Yeah, at least they didn't see that embarrassing trade run. So
Actually,
I kind of wish we had seen it.
it was it was something else, man. It was quite fun. I haven't experienced that big of a PvP, because we just came out of nowhere because we got baited in pretty much, and it was just it was horrible.
Nice.
So
well, let's do it. Let's do a game count. You start out with WoW.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing ArcheAge now. You just came out of Rift. Did you have anything before WoW and Rift? Any other games you touched on?
We had a small presence in Guild Wars 2, but it didn't pick up. We couldn't get enough people to play from the previous the previous game. So from WoW, we went from WoW to Guild Wars to Rift, and we just couldn't get enough people. So that guild kind of booted out. I think we had maybe 40 people maximum, if that. So yeah, unfortunately, that was it. And then we tried. We had a small presence in PlanetSide 2, which was our first-person shooter, but I think I only had about 5 or 6 people, so I couldn't. Again, it's so hard when you don't have anybody, and recruiting in those kinds of games are really hard, at least that I've found. So it's hard to get that one established. But really, yeah, Rift, WoW, and ArcheAge are going to be our premier, I guess, games.
All right. Now, ArcheAge is just coming out. Do you have anything down the road that you're kind of eyeballing, kind of keep an eye on for maybe potentially switching if something happens?
Not me personally, but being that we are a community, I'm always open to, if somebody else in the guild is wanting to kind of start off a division, we could always have that conversation and they can kind of take that direction with the guild name and everything like that. But as far as what I'm eyeing personally, there's some stuff out there, but nothing that's really caught my attention. I mean, ArcheAge is almost 99% everything I've ever wanted in an MMO. I don't even know what that 1% is, but I know that no game is perfect, so I'm just going to say that just for that purpose. But I really do love ArcheAge a lot. I've been in alpha for 2.5 months, or maybe 3 months now, and I love it. And I've even upgraded pretty much every single thing on my computer just to get the full experience out of ArcheAge. So I've invested a lot, and so there's another reason why I probably don't see myself getting into anything anytime soon.
All right. Chrysamir, hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. It could be Chrysamir. Is wanting to know what you're looking to get out of your alliances. What are you goals there?
That's a good question. So really, it's trust is the big thing. So and backup, because obviously we're going to be dealing with other guilds that are opposing us and are trying to just gank us over and over, or camp us, or whatever the case may be, stop us from getting trade packs in. I mean, there's all kinds of scenarios. So with alliances, we just would expect that they would come back us up when we call them for help, and we would do the same for them. It's just a mutual backing each other up kind of thing, and communication. Luckily. Yeah, luckily with Omega Ascended, we share the same TeamSpeak server, so it's really easy for us to communicate with them if something's going down. So it's nice, but really it's just backing each other up.
All right. All right. So to get a hold of you, you've got a few options here. We've got your website, pwwgaming.com, correct?
Yes.
And that's also where you host your forums.
Yep.
There's also a register link, which we just posted in the chat room. We'll also put it up onto the YouTube comments, and stuff like that.
Awesome.
I believe you run a Twitter at pww_gaming.
Yes.
All right. You have your own Twitter. That's at Veetus. That's Veetus, correct?
Correct.
and your Twitch channel, which was twitch.tv/Veetus.
Yep. Pretty much everything but my phone number and address.
Well, I don't want to give that stuff out. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
No.
Is there anything you want to say before we let you go?
Not really, other than I just can't wait for ArcheAge to come out, and I'm really excited, and also just very, very thankful that we were able to get the honor of first episode of this guild leader spotlight and the guild spotlight. So Prestige Worldwide is excited, and we're honored.
Yes, thank you very much.
Excellent, thank you. Well, I want to thank everybody for in the chat room. I want to thank our producer for tonight, Deshiva. Please subscribe, follow our Twitch channel. This will be going up on YouTube. Give it a couple days. I'll send that link over to you as well, Veetus.
Cool.
And I've got my Twitter handle, which I'll throw up here. That's iWendell. It's very difficult, I can tell you. If you want to catch me. If you want to email me, I've got theguildspotlight@gmail.com right now. We haven't gotten the grievance name started yet, or the grievance email started yet. If you have any comments or anything you want to say, let me know. Any guilds that want to come on here, send me a message, Twitter, email, whatever. We're here. And thank you, Dash, and thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
See y'all.